Squamish band, and all the brothers and sisters that share this traditional territory. Thank you so much, and my prayers will always be with you and for you and the children. Masi Cho.
Thank you. Next we're going to have Grand Chief Sir Philip do the signatory for supporting. Right above Ed Jones. Okay, next Chief Martin Louis. Yeah, Tanaya George Senior. Tom Sutherland, Yisma Dix. From the Bear Clan. YIS Smith. Okay. Yisma Dix. MADEEK and Bear Clan representative. And like Connie Dibnan. Where's my water?
Cheers to everybody.
And sharing the water. And everyone's signing their traditional, is that name? ZN Caribou Clan. The Oots, Robert Moody, DE''OOTS Beaver Clan. We have over 20 signatures from the Azatne. Sanchana Robert. I'd like to call up Onan, capital TL''NAN from the Owl Clan. I have to move this down to Violet. So we have to run a test now.
Who's that bottle? Robert? I wasn't even here the whole time.
Yes. Is that your favorite factor?
Wait till they're done.
Natalia. Okay, Cindy Salonis, counselor, Nadleh with them. Okay, Cheryl Bear, Nadleh with them, counselor. I guess that just leaves me. Eldar Newski, Nadleh with them, counselor. So now, would you like to ask questions for the Azatne for Martin? Or do you want to do separate interview?
Questions would be great. First of all, I apologize. We were shooting a studio interview and it ran a bit late, so we apologize for running late. If you don't mind, can we just summarize why we're here? Perhaps you can start with yourself. Okay. What brings us here today?
We're here today to publicly put a declaration together on water, surface water management and standards. And we're doing this according to Azatne, their rules, the Batlat system, which is our governance system that we have in place for thousands of years. The reason behind this is because of pollution that industry has been putting on our land for the last maybe 80 years. Most recent one was Indako Mines, which was polluting our rivers and lakes since 1965. And we tried in many ways to change the way they do business on the land. We tried with the province, we tried with Canada, and there was no way that they were going to change because they said they had more authority through the regulatory process to protect the land than we do. But after the J. Court case, this gave back the authority to the Zatne, our hereditary chiefs. And I'm only here as a spokesperson for them. They're the ones that asked the elected council to do something about the water, safety of the water. So we worked, I don't know, about 3 years in putting this policy together according to our laws and using the scientific data that we can be able to gather and hire whoever can hire to do this. And these standards are made out of protecting the land. It's not made out of how we're going to make money out of the land. It's how we protect. That's the first and foremost thing that our people wanted, is the protection of the land or the water. Because the water serves protected it by enacting our own laws on the land. And by doing so, from here on out, from today on, anybody wants to do business in the Nadleh, Stella territory, you abide by our laws. This is only a portion of what these things are all about. Only a portion. We do have laws that kept us strong for the last 1,000 years. We haven't changed in any way. The only change you see today is this thing, our laws putting it on paper. And that's the first time probably anywhere in Canada or even in BC that this traditional laws are written on paper. And it's the highest of standards to protect the water. It's not only for the protection of our kids, the future of our kids, but the future of mankind itself. Because as you see today, climate change is open eyes and just about everybody in the world. And we want to be one of the first persons to try to do something about this whole thing with our own laws. This is only a start. When I started this whole thing with my former chief, Larry Yuski, we ended up fighting with Enbridge for the protection of our land. And that's where this thing all came from. There has to be ways that we can change it from this. The way we've done it, we gained support by other First Nations to stop Enbridge. All of the First Nations in BC got behind us on it. The municipalities, in fact, some of the MLAs and started standing behind us in this whole thing. And this is the same process that we're going to use to enact this, our water laws. We're going to gain support throughout the province, through municipalities where the water runs. Because waters and streams, rivers and streams are sort of one of our, they say it's a bloodline of the earth that we're protecting. You know, when your blood's not pure, you get sick. That's what's happening here. We're not protecting the waterways. That's why our people get affected. And that's the reason why we chose water, because water is important to human beings.
Is there a plan to deliver this to the Premier and the Environment Minister from here?
I think they got their notification, I think it was a couple of days ago. My right to receive. They were notified, the industries were notified. Everybody knows now, we just want to bring this in publicly and everybody throughout the province of BC and Canada know that we're here to make a change in protection of water. And we are here to try to set a stage to figure out how to move into this protection of the whole Mother Earth because of the climate change. And it's by destroying what we have here, the water that we have here, by destroying that, we're destroying ourselves. So this is only a step towards it.
Do you want to hold it up for me like this? Just hold it.
Chief Louis, does this include LNG projects as well? I'm sure there are some pipelines that would go through your traditional territories.
Can you say that again?
No, so you're saying that any industry that wants to develop projects on your traditional lands have to abide by this water policy. So I'm just asking whether that includes LNG projects, because there are pipelines, I'm sure, that go through your traditional territories.
From today on, they have to revisit what they've already done in for the environmental assessment process that's already in place. This portion of it is a big part of our habitats and our animals, anything that's on the land. They have to change according to this to protect it properly. It's going to be a little extra work for them to do, but more importantly, if we want to survive as human beings, they have to adapt to these changes that we're proposing here for the protection of the earth itself. Gas and oil aren't the best of my friends in any way, but at the same time, people, not only us, people in Vancouver here, people right throughout the province have to make a living somehow. How do they make their living while starting to move towards changes that's going to be beneficial for everybody else after a while? That's what we want to do.
Do you expect that the laws that your traditional laws that you want to enforce will that stop projects like mines and pipelines and?
If you really look at the process of how things are done now, we're put in a position of consultation process that are driven by the province and Canada without any of our involvement. This says consultation's over. Let's get down to business now. If you want to do business in an area, you do it our way. If you can't do it our way, then figure out how to do it. We're not here to stop anybody. We're here to make it safe for everybody. We're here to make it safe for the animals and ourselves and the plants. That's what we're here for. We're not here to stop nobody. There has to be a better way to do business, and that's what we want to do. We want to work towards that. You cannot just keep sending us letters and say, oh, answer this in 60 days. For instance, New Gold, they're starting up, they send about 11 boxes of paper. Told us to go through it in 8 days to respond to these things. We don't have the resource to do that. We don't have anybody that can be able to go through these scientific papers and the assets we're doing. If we couldn't do it, then they said, oh, we're just going to carry on because they didn't answer us in 8 days. That has to stop now. This is going to put an end to that. You have to do it proper. There's a process how you do this. It's all set up. We use the laws of the province in Canada and just basically put ours into it. And we do it our way or not do business at all.
Chief Louis, are you still looking at pursuing Aboriginal ownership of some of these resource development projects?
Aboriginal.
I know like the Nadleh and some other nations were looking at pursuing ownership shares of projects like LNG and forestry and mining. Is that something you're still
Well,
considering?
it depends on how everybody looks at how they want to proceed with business. The steps in doing this, taking care of the policy, management policy, at the end of the day, you go through the process. In order to implement this into any project, there has to be a portion of where you talk about revenue. And every First Nation can be able to negotiate their own piece in that part. Right now, what they do is offer us very little money for the environment. Any kind of environmental work that we do right now, province sends us $25,000 to go through this whole environmental process here. And we can't even hire a decent, never mind a lawyer, but any technical person. We can't hire anybody with that kind of money to look through a project for us. It's just, and these things, there's a portion of how you pay and who you pay to. It's in there. We're not forcing anybody to say, well, use this as a sort of a guide to get money, but it is designed to do that. You cannot just come, the province cannot just come to us and say, this is what we're going to do and this is what we're getting out of it. I think those days are long gone. we should be treated as business people as like anybody else. We can be able to do this, protect our land to the highest of standards. I think we can do business at the highest of standards too.
What will you do with the industry and the government just push aside this information?
Well, that's when the infringement part of it comes in. If you want to infringe on our title and rights, you pay the price. You either sit in court with us, or it's help us do business. Simple. Not very much scientific stuff behind that one. If you want to do business, you do it according to these rules here. If you want to go to court, we can go to court too. It's their choice at this point. Because they are going to infringe on our rights if this is what we say it is. And you want to go ahead and do business without it, then they're actually infringing publicly. We already gave them sort of a gauge to work by. They're not going to work by that gauge. Just go to court.
Grand Chief, has the BC government done a sufficient enough job in dealing with the issue of water and water rights for First Nations in BC?
No, absolutely not. Had you been here earlier, you would have heard my remarks on that issue. In many ways, this document is a reflection of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. It's a reflection of the Constitution of this country that acknowledges Aboriginal title and rights. It's certainly a reflection of the multitude of Supreme Court decisions spanning Calder up to the Chilcotin decision. The Chilcotin decision was half the story. This is the other half of the story, where the principles of the Chilcotin decision are incorporated into tribal indigenous nations standing up their own traditional laws. The one word to describe this document is consent, and it's going to have an enormous impact on nature resource development. I just came out of a courtroom with respect to the Site C injunction, and I heard BC Hydro's lawyer repeat over and over again that the Rocky Mountain Court land defenders had no legal right, no legal standing to undertake the activities they were. Well, this is the legal right and the legal standing. Had they a document like this that reflected Treaty 8 tribal law, they would have had every legal right to stop that project. And what we're going to witness is a replication of traditional law being brought forward throughout the 30-odd tribal territories that comprise British Columbia. There will be laws, tribal laws on water standards, water quality, water management, as well as mining, forestry, and every conceivable use of the land, because there's been an absolute failure on the part of the province of British Columbia, particularly British Columbia, to come up with an adequate framework of laws to properly protect the environment and the waters of the province. The legislative framework that currently exists simply panders to big industry, to mining interests, to ranching interests, as it did when those laws were brought into creation at the point of colonization. And this is the future. And I really commend Nadleh for providing the visionary leadership to be the first to put pen to paper and stand up their tribal laws. And if anybody's going to do business in their territory, it's subject to this law and the consent that it represents. So I would say it's very historic, and I'm so proud that, like the Chilcotin decision itself, this happened in the boardroom of the Union of BC Indian Chiefs.
Chief Louis, you mentioned some of the effects of the water laws, other laws of the province on your territory, including effect on Chinook and lowering of the water level. I think it's Francis Lake. Have there been other effects as well on the land that that you are concerned about?
Yeah, we're, like I said earlier, this is only a part of what we have as indigenous laws we want to create. There's other things that comes out of this. The standards that we're talking about, management policy that we're talking about in the water here. If you're going to apply to that, we have to, if there's an agreement between the province and ourselves, which we have to start talking about. Because we do have an agreement to talk with the province at a higher level than just local bureaucrats. We have an agreement to talk with all the top ministers for changes, and if it's going to affect these other ministers, then we'll have to go and negotiate these positions with them. And when you talk about negotiations, you talk about those other tribal leaders in the province of BC. Within ourselves, in our laws, this law that we put together is basically open for other people to use. But at the same time, they have to seek our approval to utilize anything like this. Because there's a relationship that's built up over thousands of